into your eyes. You don't care a thing about those other guys. Without words, you made me understand what's on your mind. The rhythm of your body close to mine. I can tell by the way you dance that you're gonna love me tonight.
In today's world, one of the nation's most popular television programs is titled The Voice, a show that spotlights amateur performers singing in competition. It's very much along the same lines as Ted Mack's original Amateur Hour and Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts programs from the 1950s. But 30 years ago, if you heard someone refer to The Voice, the person they were talking about was one of country music's most talented vocalists, Vern Gosdin, a man Tammy Wynette once described as the only singer able to hold a candle to George Jones. The press dubbed him The Voice because of his uncanny ability to deliver song lyrics with unbelievably gut-wrenching emotion. Gosdin came by this skill naturally because many of his songs were written about his own unhappy personal life. Divorced 3 times, most of his 25 top 20 hits between 1977 and 1991 he co-wrote based around these sad incidents. His crowning achievement, the all-time great tearjerker Chiseled in Stone, was honored by the Country Music Association as 1989's Song of the Year. Born August 5, 1934 in Woodland, Alabama, Vern was the 6th of 9 children. On Saturday nights, he went to sleep to the sounds of the Grand Ole Opry, dreaming that one day he might take the stage himself. In his teens, Gosdin and his 2 brothers piled their family harmonies on a gospel radio program on 50,000-watt WVOK in Birmingham. After that first experience in music, Vern moved to Chicago, where he managed the D&G Tap Club. Buford Pusser, later the inspiration for the Walking Tall movies, was the club's bouncer. Gosdin relocated to California in 1960 and along with his brother Rex formed a bluegrass group called the Golden State Boys. Chris Hillman was a member of the band, and when he became its leader, the group changed its name to the Hillmen. After Chris joined the Byrds, he cut Vern's song Someone to Turn To, which found its way onto the soundtrack of the Jack Nicholson cult film Easy Rider. The Gosdin brothers opened shows for the Byrds for a while after that, but after releasing 3 singles which failed to spark any interest, Gosdin quit the music business and moved to Atlanta, Georgia, founding his own glass and mirror company. He was able to support himself by working only 9 hours per week. Music still called, however, and Vern shelled out $8,000 of his own money to re-record solo versions of a couple of the songs he and Rex had released on the West Coast several years earlier, Hangin' On and Yesterday's Gone. After hearing the demo tape, Emmylou Harris was impressed enough to ask Vern if she could add harmony vocals on those tracks. Both releases made the top 20 in 1977 for Elektra Records, number 16 and number 9 respectively. Moving from label to label, Gosdin was able to consistently place records in the upper numbers on Billboard's country singles chart, even though the independent companies he was making records for didn't have very large promotional departments to speak of. Still, a cover of another of his and Rex's old recordings, Till the End, with background harmonies by Janie Fricke, became a top 10 hit, as did Dream of Me, If You're Gonna Do Me Wrong, Do It Right, a country version of the association's old '67 pop hit Never My Love, and Way Down Deep. Finally, The Voice scored with the first of his 3 number 1 hits, with a song he had held on to for over 2 years, I Can Tell by the Way You Dance You're Gonna Love Me Tonight. Gary Morris had recorded the tune, but hadn't released it as a single, opening the door for a Gosdin issue. Still, Vern shied away from the number, concerned that it rocked too much for his straight country delivery. One day at a session, his producer Blake Mevis decided he wanted to record Gosdin doing something up-tempo for a change, and asked him if he had anything. It was only then that Vern finally brought out I Can Tell by the Way You Dance You're Gonna Love Me Tonight. After the single reached number 1 on Billboard's country singles chart on June 30th, 1984, Mevis explained that he requested the change of direction for Vern because, even though he was noted for his ballads, an area which he felt the most comfortable, Blake wanted Gosdin to stretch out some. He wanted people to say, I didn't know Vern could sing like that. Mevis said it's like buying a suit. You don't want to buy a blue pinstriped suit if you already have one in the closet. Well, I Can Tell by the Way You Dance You're Gonna Love Me Tonight was indeed a nice change of pace for Vern, but his voice was made for ballads. And, with a couple of exceptions, he stuck to that style of singing for the remainder of his recording career, including his peak years on the Columbia label, which were yet to come.
I don't care if everybody knows the way I feel, until the dream of holding you is real.